So today's video, 6.4 rational exponents, simplifying. Feel free to pause the video, feel free to rewind the video, go nice and slow. We're going to cover a lot of ground and I'm going to try and go slow, but you know me, sometimes I get carried away. So like I said, we're going to be simplifying things that have a base with a rational exponent. So what I'd like you to begin with is just a reminder. So I want you to remember that if you have a base and a rational exponent, the numerator is the power and the denominator is your root. And we want to simplify today. When we're simplifying, we're going to have no negative exponents and we're going to have no rational exponents. We're going to be working only in roots. All right, so let's do some examples. Here's example 1. Let's take a look at 8 to the 2/3 power. I want to simplify 8 to the 2/3 power. The first thing I'm going to do is rewrite this as the third root of 8 squared. Third root of 8 squared. Well, I know immediately that 8 is a cube. 8 is 2/3, 2 to the third power, I mean. 8 is 2 to the third power, and then times 2. So what happens next is I get some stuff to cancel out, third root and third power. So I am left with 2 squared, which is 4. So there's my final answer. 8 to the 2/3 is technically 4. Let's do another example. In example 2. This time I'm going to take a look at 2y to the 1/2 times y. And I want to simplify this. Well, what do I know for sure? I know that this y to the 1/2 is just going to be the square root of y. And then 2 times y is y. So when I go to simplify, that's really the best I can do. So in this problem, all I had to do was turn that 1/2 power into a square root. The 2 and the y, those were both like freestanding numbers. They weren't rational expression numbers, rational exponent numbers rather. So they could be multiplied together to give me 2y. That one was maybe a little bit more straightforward than number 1. Now with number 3, let's chug on forward. Y to the 2/3 to the -9. We need to simplify this. Here I'm recalling my exponent rules. If I have a power to a power, I'm going to multiply. So I have y to the, well, think of -9 as a fraction. That'd be -9/1. And then when you multiply fractions, top times top, bottom times bottom. So I'm thinking y to the -18/3, which would be the same as y to the -6. Now, bad math manners to have negative exponents, so I'm going to rewrite this as 1 over y to the 6th. Whenever you have a negative exponent, you need to move it to the denominator, change its level. 1 over y to the 6th. How do you feel about that one? Are you doing good? Would you like to rewind for a minute? Are you good? Okay, on to number 4 then. So with number 4, I'm going to give you a fraction, x to the 4/7, so a power with a fraction, or a base with a fraction, over x to the 2/3. So 4/7 is the top exponent, 4/7. 2/3 is the bottom exponent. So what am I going to do here? Again, I'm going to recall my exponent rules. If you have exponents that are divided, the exponent, see that division bar is a giant minus sign. So I have x to the 4/7 minus 2/3. 4/7 minus 2/3. So I'm going to do this old school and do the fraction work myself. I'm going to create a common denominator. My common denominator would be 21. 7 times 3 is 21. Now I'd have to multiply 4 and 7 by 3s to make a 21 in the denominator. That gives me a 12. 2 and 3, I'd have to multiply each of those by 7 to give me a 21 in the denominator. So I'm looking at 12 minus 14. Okay, so again, that was just, kicking it old school. X equals, or x to the -2/21. So x to the negative 2 over 21 power. And then I want to rewrite this. So I'm going to rewrite it in the denominator. The negative exponent needs to be moved to the denominator. Remember that 21 is going to be my root, so the 21st root of x squared. What? That is crazy. No, it's not. It makes perfect sense. Move your negative exponent to the denominator. It magically makes its exponent become positive. 21 is at the bottom part of your exponent fraction, so that's going to be your root. And then 2 is your power, x squared. All right, that was a good one. Fraction work. Love it. All right, number 5. Let's do another example. If you're wondering, we're only going to do 6, and then I'm going to leave you with a couple to try on your own. Let's change colors so we're not all confused. Number 5. All right, we're getting warmed up now. Hopefully this next one you'll be like, this is so much fun. 2 times a to the 1/4 to the 3rd power. Okay, so another exponent rule says that if you're raising a bunch of stuff to a power, everything gets raised to that power. So I'm essentially distributing in the power here. This becomes 2 to the 3rd, and then a to the, well, I need to multiply top times top, bottom times bottom. So 2 to the 3rd times a to the 3/4. 2 to the 3rd is 8. A to the 3/4, well, that's going to be something with a root of 4, and then a to the 3rd power. 8 times the 4th root of a to the 3rd. That's it for number 5. Okay, now I don't know about you, but maybe you're almost out of room. I'm going to kind of jump over here to where I have some white space. And let's take a look at number 6. Let's take a look at another example. So do what you have to do. If you need to turn the page, go for it. If you want to just draw a line and kind of separate your space, go for it. I don't care. X to the 1/2, y to the 2/3 over x to the 1/3, y to the 1/2. Okay, so I think this is as bad as it's going to get. I think it's bad because we've got x's and y's, top and bottom. We have different denominators on those fractions. And we have to use probably the most risky of the exponent rules, which is we need to subtract those exponents. I call it risky because you're bound to make a sign mistake, or I see a lot of, in my line of work, I see a lot of sign mistakes. Okay, nice and slow and steady. X to the 1/2 minus 1/3. Yes? Right here? Times y to the 2/3 minus 1/2. Yes? See what I'm doing there? All right, those two x's and y's are being multiplied together, but we're going to subtract those exponents. All right, so I have an x and I have a y. So we need to do 1/2 minus 1/3, and we need to do 2/3 minus 1/2. So like I did in number 4, you can kick it old school and just do the common denominator work. Go for it. Otherwise, you're welcome to use a calculator to do this, because you know what? It is not my job to teach you fractions, people. So let me talk you through on the graphing calculator these TI-84s, or if you've got, like the little TI-30, which is so nice to just fit in your Chromebook pouch or in your pencil pouch. Hopefully you have a calculator of some sort. What you're going to do is you're going to go 1 divided by 2, that looks like 1/2, minus 1 divided by 3, that looks like 1/3. You hit enter, and then it's math 1, and that'll turn your number into a fraction. So that's 1/6. So I'm going to put a 1/6 right there. Okay, let's talk through those keystrokes again. So now for the y's, I'm going to go 2/3 minus 1/2, hit enter, and then again, it's math, and choose number 1 because you want your answer turned into a fraction. Hit enter, and you're going to get a 1/6 again. Okay, so don't let the fraction work be what turns you off of math forever. You have a calculator, use it. And even when you're an adult, all grown up, If you turn your phone, the calculator on your phone, if you turn it sideways, up opens a whole nother, menu of like bigger stuff on your calculator. You can probably find a fraction converter there. Okay, so anywho, if you don't know what I'm talking about, ask me in class and I'll show you. So anyway, I want to write my answer as a radical. Both of these have a root of 6, so I can write it as one radical. 6th root of x to the first, y to the first. If you want to put the x to the 1, y to the 1, go for it. I'm going to leave it just like this. Okay, please write down 2 more examples. Give me a minute and try them. Give me a couple minutes of your time and try. So I would like you to try. This is going to be, we'll call it number 7. I'd like you to find 9 x to the 4th, y to the negative 2 to the 1/2 power. See what you can come up with for an answer on that one. And then the last one for you to try, number 8, 3 x to the 1/2 times 4 x to the 2/3. This one, number 8, would be a good one for you to use your graphing calculator app on, or use the calculator to do that fraction work for you. Okay, good work. See you tomorrow.